Hey you. So, I heard you like mining. After grinding out boring hours of mining for engineer upgrades prior to the Chapter 4 update, I was happy to never need a mining laser ever again. But with the new mining tools, hotspots, and rags to riches / ashy to classy rumors, I decided to outfit a ship and see what all the big noise was about. So, Commander of the Pilots Federation, here's how and where you too can bag up the good rocks.
It's a mineral collection.
And I'll show you where to sell them to fatten up that bank account. Make sure to Mike Tyson the like button and subscribe button. First things first, we need a ship, some tools, and a crew. We can only have 2 of those things, so let's knock out the first ones. I considered a crate but decided we should go with a ship whose strengths are suited to mining. Python it is. Python has 9 optional internals and we're going to use every one of them. We want to take home as many tons of minerals as we can find, and we need a lot of limpets to do that, so cargo racks are top priority. Scooping up rocks.
Now they're mineral. Jesus, Marie.
Will take all day and ain't nobody got time for that. A collector limpet controller with as many limpets as you can fire out is next on the shopping list, followed by a refinery with several bins. You want those on deck so you're not waiting on ore to process. What I did was take a 5B shield just in case I ran into pirates who want what I have. I didn't see anybody but security patrols in the hotspots, so what I should have done is take a size 3 shield for bumps and protection from explosives and stick a cargo rack in that 5 slot. But I didn't, so moving on. If you don't have a prospector controller, you can't identify what, if anything, is in the core of an asteroid, so a prospector controller is a must. You don't need a big fancy one, just one that'll do its job. Let's get rid of this hole enforcement, because we're making money, not war. A detailed surface scanner will finish off the optional module section. In utilities, we just need a pulse wave scanner. I like to work my way up in hard points, starting with the mining laser. You can get away with leaving this at home, but occasionally you run across asteroids where you'll miss it. Abrasion blaster is what you'll use the most. Subsurface displacement missiles get some use, but if you just plain have to minimize your hard points, you can get away with leaving it. Don't sacrifice it for a weapon though. Seismic charges. Don't leave home without them. Get a 2B fixed unless you got a multi-crew member. I grabbed a beam, but there was really no use for it. Just kind of felt nice having it. It's what I do. I didn't make any changes to my core internals, but if you wanted to make an upgrade, then thrusters would be the thing to do. Good lateral and vertical thruster maneuvers will get you through all the asteroids and debris out there without scratching up your paint. Your shopping's all done and you got to set up everything you shoved into that ship. You have a bunch of tools, so instead of just making sure everything is assigned, it's best to organize them in a way you'll remember. I'm not a big math guy, but I do believe in working through order of operation. The first thing you do when you arrive is scan the system and then fire off probes at the ring. So those are in fire group A, in that order. Next you'll fire off pulse waves and then send a prospector wave to scan any hits. That's fire group B. For group C, you'll laser anything worthy from the surface and shoot off the other chunks with the abrasion laser. In D, you're working your way inward with the displacement missile. When all that's left is fissures, you use your seismic charges. And now where are we going? When I was out exploring, I came across this little gem. It's got a hidden mining facility where one of the new encounters occur if you got mad squabbles. And it's got hotspots for materials I hadn't heard of at the time, but later found out to be extremely valuable.
I'm bidding on a new mineral.
Alexandrite, which is what I went back looking for, is worth $550,000 at the right seller. But then I came across a couple other things that'll give your pockets the mumps. Grandidierite is worth over $770,000 per ton, and void opals get bought for almost $1.7 million, playboy. Plus there's low temp diamonds and probably other stuff I didn't get to. It's like open bar at a jewelry store. If you're not versed on the new mining, here's a few tips. Number 1, don't waste your time on anything but the brightest asteroids. You'll see a bunch of asteroids that are kind of gold but got a decent amount of orange in them. You might find some mats in them, but they're worthless for the big ticket items we're hunting for. Number 2, pay attention to your meters. If you've selected a subsurface deposit and fire off a missile, you've got to hold the fire button and release it to land on the blue zone, and the thinner blue zones give you more materials. The missiles won't quit drilling immediately after you release the trigger, so release it a bit ahead of the blue zone. When you're using seismic charges, make sure to read both the fissure strength and the charge strength. The charge strength is the most important. It's in the upper right hand corner. If it's overcharged, you'll destroy a bunch of loot, and if the charge is too low, you'll get a flaccid little explosion that won't open the asteroid, but will ruin the fissures, leaving you with only a few to try again with. Get in the blue zone for optimal yield. Holding down the fire button will begin charging it, and the meter on the left will show you how much is charged. So charge wisely, my friend. Number 3. After demolition, let the limpets clear the freed minerals from the explosion first. Once they're out of the asteroid, they begin disintegrating or decaying or whatever you want to call it, so clear them before shooting chunks off the exposed asteroid. Number 4. Give yourself some room during the explosion, especially if you have weak shields. I didn't think I was super close, but this explosion took out a decent chunk of shields. If you have weak or no shields, that might be a wrap. Number 5. Give yourself some room after the explosion. If you get too close to the exposed asteroid trying to get close to your limpets, you'll lose a lot of them. The limpets have a tendency to go vertically below your ship and then pop back up, but if you've got chunks of asteroid under your hull, they're just gonna crash into that and die. Number 6, there's nothing like flying in the middle and your canopy freezing over. It's not really a useful tip, but just do it, man. It's great. So now you got a hold full of treasure and you want to flip it for some good clean cash before the vultures start lurking? Make your way over to Tasaki Freeport in the LHS 2819 system. Only 112 light years away, but keep your eyes on your radar. Cash out for the day and maybe go shopping for modules, or even better, a sexy flexy new ship. Feel free to shoot any questions in the comments and crowdsource some information. Fly dirty, Commanders. 07.